Good morning, Healy friends and family. Today, I'm very excited to welcome Toni O'Brien, who is a holistic health coach that I've had the opportunity to work with now. Thank goodness for over a year and a half now. It's been, Toni, since you and I met. We met in a previous company that was non-health related, and we discovered Healy, and I knew that Toni had a lot of experience with the healing and being a health coach and stuff like this. And so when she saw the Healy device, it was just a perfect fit for us to just been amazing, Toni, getting to know you better and deepening our friendship and having effect on so many lives today, right now. So, hello, Toni.
Hello. Thanks for having me on, Ryan. I'm excited to be here this morning.
Yeah, thank you so much. We have had a lot of people asking lately, Toni, about the Healy, how to use the resonance properly. And so that's some of the stuff that we're going to be covering here, first of all, this morning. But before we get into that, let's go ahead and kind of talk about, you had your health coach focus with quantum healing in the past. You also had a studio with different health technologies. You want to talk about the different things that you were into before you found the Healy device?
Sure, Ryan. And, I got into this whole arena about 30 years ago when I had chronic fatigue syndrome. I'd stripped out my adrenals, my immune system was shot, I had all that whole 9 yards, and nobody could help me at that point. So I became my own doctor. And I learned I became my own doctor. I was like my own kind of personal PhD.
Right.
And as on that journey, I became fascinated with energy medicine, vibrational healing, quantum healing, and that arena just really excited me. Fast forwarding to about a decade ago, I had a beauty and wellness center that was focusing on things that were really pushing the edge of technology and spirituality, and a little gateway to getting it out to the mainstream. So again, very fascinated with frequency technologies, vibrational modalities, different healing modalities, and that type of thing. So when you had mentioned this technology, I took a look at it, and it was so cute. I kind of looked at it and went, I don't know, but I looked anyway. And I'm glad I did, because I started to dive into it and see what's behind it. Some things that really got me excited about it was that the company that is behind this is Time Waver, and they've been using this for like 14 years with tremendous success, with thousands of practitioners. And and looking at who's behind that, Marcus Schminke, and researching him, it's like, oh my God, this is the real deal. This is incredible.
Yeah.
And so, as you know, with a lot of technologies that are out there in the frequency world, you've got to dial in what your need is and what you're going to use. You got to know what you need and then deliver it. Goodness, with the Healy, because it has quantum sensor inside, it's analyzing from the information field what we need in real time. So wow, that's just taking it to a whole new level.
Yeah.
And why it's so exciting and so accessible to so many people to have that ability to have that power in their own hands.
Toni,
Really exciting.
Toni, with what you're saying right there, it just hit me. Look how fast technology has come to this little tiny device, and how the normal person across the globe can then be a messenger of this basically suppressed technologies for so long. And that moment is right now, and we are all connecting on this. That's a big deal right there. It's like that mission is so deep. It's anyways, yeah.
Exactly. And I think that's why we're all here. And that's why we're all here at this point in time. I think it's just, incredibly powerful. And, with the mission of Healy, just stating that out for anyone that's popping on and you don't know, it's to get this out to 100 million families, to up-level the consciousness and health on the planet. Boy, at a time where it could never be more needed than right now. So We're very, very blessed for it. And
It's such divine timing right there. What's going on?
it is.
Nothing
It
more I
is.
want to do than get that out to the masses. I know it's that resonates with you as well, and somebody on this call. Okay, so let me see here. Okay, you're talking about just the importance of focus, intention when we're working with the heal. You want to elaborate on that? Like that's something that really you've seen a lot of people coming into your practice.
I do. And that I think that's the most important thing that we can mention and bring to anyone's awareness is the importance of having the focused intent. I mean, that is number one by far, what is more important than any of the dynamics of what program you're choosing, even program grouping. Focused.
But what's really important is just life in general. It's important to have a focus intent. So you look at that focus intent, right? Talk about that. But then when you're using the device also, how both is very important.
Very important. And I think what the Healy is doing on one level, it's enabling us to be able to get to a place to do that, because right now, focused intent is not easy. Focused energy is not easy with all of the things that we're subjected to on all of these levels. I mean, the ability to focus is not easy, but when we take extra effort and we take a moment, we take our breath and we get in our bodies and we really laser focus on what we want, when we turn that Healy on and open up that quantum field by turning on the quantum sensor, we're going to have tremendous success and tremendous results. Yeah. And that will start unfolding for us. And something to mention.
Oh, for those who don't know much about focus intent or kind of new working with, law of attraction, this kind of thing, I'm just curious, how do you start your day off? Because I do start my day off with focus intent. Can you give an example just with the experience that you have, how you begin your day off covering that important?
Sure. Well, I mean, one of the things that I do in the morning, besides doing my nutritional things and my hydration things, which is I believe extremely important too, the bit to be extra hydrated, is I do make sure that I'm connecting to the earth. I do get that early morning sunrise, sunshine in my eyes. I do breathe that in. I get as much of that, on my skin as I can in the morning.
So important.
Take the time to get recentered and focused and take my breaths and, affirm how I want the day to be. I envision how I want the day to be and get my yoga movements in and all these things. It sounds like a lot, but it only takes a few moments. And it just really sets my day.
That's really important. A lot of people just wake up to alarm clock, boom, they're off like that. So I think it's important that we talk about this, everyone that's listening to this call. So because these daily practices, just because you may not be doing them while you're doing it the Healy, but you actually are, because the energy that's going through the Healy and implementing these simple life practice, like she's talking about, getting outside, getting grounded, getting that natural light. Toni lives in California, so it's easier for some of us to get light. I live on a place, but a lot of people don't have the ability to get a whole bunch of sunlight. So like what you're saying, it's very important right there to implement that. So let's just get more into go ahead.
Yeah, and just capping on, I want to add one little bit about the focused intent part of this. So having that focused intent, when you turn your Healy on, and then also as you really start to get into the session with it, keeping that focus intent. Something I found with doing a few hundred sessions here with the Healy is that I'm getting a lot of success, and people are really having a great positive experience when they do a session with the Healy. And I think part of the reason that's so consistent is that they will honor what I ask them and take the time to have the intent and close their eyes. This, I think, is really, really important.
So when you tell them to close their eyes, go ahead. This is what you tell them.
Yeah, when you start to use it, at least in the beginning of the session, that's not always realistic the whole time for all the sessions you're doing the rest of your Healy experience. But when your eyes are closed, you turn off the external stimulation And then you're able to notice not what's just going on in the physical body, but even more so of all the different subtleties you could be picking up on, that you will miss if you are not focused on the experience.
Definitely.
And that helps. Yeah, I think that just helps tremendously. Yeah.
Yeah,
So.
and that's such a good practice right there. Like we were talking about before we started recording this call, just being in the moment and being still and just really going inside. So that's something that Healy, I see, is teaching a lot of people to take the time to do under this important moment in history. Okay, so you've sat down with a whole bunch of people using the Healy, and this is you walk them through just closing their eyes and resetting, and that is important. So note to all you all that are listening, when you're giving the sessions, have the people take the time to be horizontal. Also, I think it's important when they lay down, again, the body resets on top of closing our eyes, which also helps with that reset as well, Toni. Then what else?
Yeah, well, a couple key things there. The first intent is by far number one, no matter what you're doing in Healy world. The Healy microcurrent, the Healy resonant, whatever you're doing, focused intent. I think proper hydration is really critical, no matter what you're doing with Healy. Almost everyone is dehydrated. Almost everyone is. And you really want to be extra hydrated and properly hydrated before, during, after, even more so when you're using the Healy, because we're electric batteries. We need that hydration for the conductivity. So the hydration, breath, awareness, those are really the key things. Have intention. What do you want from the Healy? What do you want to create? And another thing that's really important is consistency and measurement. So consistency, when you start to work with the Healy, and you know what your goals are, be consistent with what your program is, your protocol is. If you jump around from thing to thing, you're not going to be able to measure what's really working and what's not. I mean, that's the same as you would do anything in life. So do the same way with the Healy. And everyone recommends that you start with the gold cycle, and you may stay with the gold cycle, and you're going to have incredible results. So everyone recommends starting there.
Is that what you recommend? Is people put a focus on the gold? Yeah, that's.
Yeah, I would say yeah, Ryan, almost all the sessions that I've done as an introductory session have been with the gold cycle on pure.
Okay. So
and that's what so many have done on my team as well.
So do you, when you're doing a demo, do you do like an hour, a half an hour for 2 programs, or what do you recommend?
25 minutes. And if somebody's hurting, I'll go right to the pain, and that's the one thing I think that kind of trumps everything, is to go right to the pain. But if they have, and we've set longer than that point in time, what I found can happen very frequently is, in running this 25 minutes of the pure, the pain goes away. We didn't have to go to the pain after. The pain's already gone. So it can happen that fast. Not saying it does. Oh, and a very important thing, Ryan, we didn't say in the beginning, is the disclaimer. So the disclaimer now: we do not heal, treat, diagnose, or cure in any way. Everything that we say here is purely for educational and entertainment purposes. You want to consult your medical provider or your medical advisor for all things related to medicine, and consult them. We are here just for a little insight and education.
Amen. Well, a lot of people are having great results with the Healy. Sales have really skyrocketed. What I did see a memo, I'm not sure if you saw this, Toni, this is just an announcement for everyone that has not seen this memo, is I think that they're actually they're doing something right now internally. I think we're going to see the next week where the frequencies are stronger. Have you heard anything about this? Because they went from being strong, people would feel them a whole bunch, to they turned it down recently. And so people still feel them, especially when they're being caught, eyes shut and all this, relaxing. But now I hear that they're actually making them stronger. Do you know anything about this? Just touch base on real quick.
I don't, but what I do know on that is that on Wednesday at 10 o'clock Pacific that they are going to have an update and give us all the information on that. So
Yeah.
I would tune in there. And, you know, this might be a good time to go into a couple of these frequently asked questions that I have here, Ryan.
Yeah, and one thing I just want to touch base on, just other public announcements that I've heard, Toni, and you may have as well, is that the company is growing extremely, extremely quickly. And they compare this to like an Apple company. Imagine having an Apple or another high demand company product, you know, like Apple has their people waiting outside. It's just amazing that they do their best to catch to satisfy the demands of the customers. And that's what we're experiencing at Healy. Whenever there's hiccups, what I will also say on public announcement as well, before we dive into this, Toni, is that they have hired a new COO. Okay, Carson Marks is no longer with the company. The person that's coming in to replace the COO is actually, I think it's someone from 20 years experience in corporate Herbalife, is from what I've heard. Don't exactly quote me on this, but I'm pretty much 99.9% that's the case. And so they're hiring quality people. They're going after the best of the industry to fill these roles. So obviously with starting up a company, you're going to see roles change. You're going to see product delayed. You're going to see customer support issues until you find the right fit. It's not possible to go ahead and throw a company together and think that you have the key players in place to be able to meet the demands. And that's definitely players, stuff like that. So that's all on public service announcements that I know of. Be on tomorrow. Sorry about that, Toni. There's my disclaimer.
Awesome. Okay. All right. All good. All good.
We did that. All right. So anyways, Toni, next we're going to move into the reason for putting this here call is a lot of people have had a lot of questions about resonance. So we're going to dive right into the resonance analyze programs, correct?
Yeah, we sure can. We sure can. We had a couple in the Healy microcurrent too. Maybe knock those out first.
That's perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, because if they came over the FAQ, I think maybe quite a few people had this.
I'll read the question because I got the memos here.
Oh, I got it. I'm gonna paraphrase a little bit though,
Okay,
Ryan.
Go ahead.
Okay, thanks. One of the first questions here was, how do we differentiate what this black line means on the Healy? And that's a super, super common question. Okay. And also, you know, going back to that US update call was a fantastic part that Ken Close did on that call. And it was a very easy way to make sure that there isn't anything going on in the hardware. And take a look at that, because he had this great little experiment of having a knife, just a butter knife, and putting the 2 electro pads on the butter knife and showing that there was a connection. And that's a really great way to see, okay, could it be my hardware or not? If you've got a connection there, then you know that the reason that the black line is coming up could be the level of hydration and conductivity is not quite there, and you're seeing it go back and forth. And also some frequencies are just in the range that maybe your electronics are not detecting that. But really, when it's going back and forth, there's nothing to worry about. The only way there is a problem if it's continuously black and never goes to white. So that's something there. You want to be extra hydrated. You can also lightly mist the sin and the wrist connectors to get more conductivity, to kind of cheat it a little bit. Right. So there's that question's a common one. And then there's another question around the Healy microcurrent, is the question if there is always a percentage, should there always be a percentage below the circle where the program is delivering? And no, not necessarily. Almost all of the programs will have that, and you'll see the little infinity symbol kind of on the top right. And those programs are continuously reading what you need from the information field. Every 10 seconds, you're going to see it switching up, and you're going to see the percentage of resonance, the percentage of need changing underneath the circle. So there's a couple programs like in the pain programs where you won't see the infinity symbol and it's delivering a specific frequency to you in that time. But almost all of the programs do.
Are you saying that that is a consistent one frequency, or is it also, it's a solid frequency?
Yeah.
Do you know which one it is by chance? Probably not.
No, it's pain. I think there's a couple pain programs, and those are the only things I can
40
think of.
hertz is really good for inflammation, I believe. Is that correct? The 40 hertz? I think Carol
Yeah.
McBacon speaks about the 40 hertz being really good for inflammation. Okay. All right.
Yeah, and other things. So, and going in the resonance, one of the things I thought would be really good to just kind of clarify a little bit in the resonance is the resonance is not delivering microcurrent frequency to you in the way that the Healy app programs do. The resonance is sending a frequency correction to your bioenergetic field. And so when you use the resonance, again, most important thing is to have your focused intent. This is extra, extra important when you're using the Healy resonance. Have your intention and be ready to use it before you turn that on. And so have your focused intent, because one of the most common questions here that was asked was about placing your thumb or finger on the screen for a client that may be in another place. So again, you know, what's really important, whether you're doing it for yourself right here or you're doing it for somebody sitting next to you, focused intent, focused intent. Right. But now, why this is one of the things that seems the hardest to grasp around the resonance is how this even gets sent, but it's working the information field. Kind of think of like your text. You're texting information to somebody, boom, and they get it because that information knows exactly where to go. And you don't think about it. You don't question, does my texting work? Maybe it works. Maybe it's not going to work. I don't know if it's going to work. You know the text is going to work.
Toni, you know what's interesting, and I highly recommend this for everyone that's interested in learning more about quantum physics. There's something called google.com/alerts, ALERTS, and you can set alerts, like they'll come to you in a daily digest. Like I put in frequency, or I put in quantum physics, so I get a daily. I constantly want to learn about where quantum physics, and I think it's important for us as Healy distributors, since we're dealing with the quantum arena, that we be aware of these updates also, because it's a great conversation. It's good to be knowledgeable about. Yeah.
Oh, it is. It's fun, and we're on the leading edge of some amazingness. So it's exciting, very exciting.
Okay.
Yeah. So rolling back into focused intent. I'll just say all day long. Focused intent. Focused intent. I should get a recording. Focused intent. But that's what's really, really important. And with this question, the common question. You know, if you are doing an analysis for somebody who's not near you, or you're doing analysis for somebody, you know, with the resonance, your focused intent is going to make all the difference. Your focused intent on that.
Especially when you're working with someone else, because I feel you have to go extra really deep, right?
Yeah, you do. You focused intent and certainty. You know, think about sending a text. You know, we don't question that. We don't get doubtful. We don't get weird emotional stuff coming up about the doubt of sending a text. You know, once you've done this a number of times, you're going to be that solid too, and it's going to be even easier. But really have focused intent that this is an analysis, you know, whatever your their intention is for this person, and you laser focus on it, and then you stay laser focused while you're doing the analysis.
Got it. That easy. Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah. And then what do I have now? Another question was, is it harmful to run vibrations all night for sleep? So that's a good question too, because to answer it, you kind of cover a few things. So they're speaking obviously about the resonance and the vibrations. So the resonance has a number of durations you can set it for, from very, very short to a few minutes to a number of minutes, all the way up to 4 and 8 hours.
Right.
And that can be a little confusing to people too, because of those long durations. The long durations, generally people will use the sleep group or the protection group, and will send those vibrations to themselves, especially at night or before they're going to go to sleep. And this could not be harmful to somebody. And I would highly recommend to experience how this creates the deepness of your sleep and protection. We're in electronic soup here, and it's very, very beneficial there. So the harmful part I wanted to highlight in that, because there's a difference in the contraindications that you would have. The contraindications that you see in the Healy manual are speaking in reference to the microcurrent, having that direct connection with the cables and stimulation from that. So when you're getting the bioenergetic correction from that, that doesn't have those contraindications from receiving direct microcurrent. So the only thing you want to be aware of is just make sure that person always ask their medical provider, and make sure that their sensitivity to things in general,
Hey,
to help better.
Toni,
Yeah.
Jennifer's asking that asking if this could stimulate tumor growth, and she said she'd get back to them. When people say something like this, what do you?
Yeah, those kinds of questions we always want to take off. We always want to take offline, and knowing we're not diagnosing or advising any of those things. Those should be for your medical provider for sure.
Right.
One thing that we do have the luxury of is having a Heal Advisor search available to us. And that is an additional app that you can have to ask those specific health condition type questions. And you can connect to a time waiver, medical therapist, and people that can actually legally advise you on things like that.
I think that when I see the cells, the red blood cells before and after using Healy, you look how happy and round they are, and the inflammation's gone, and they can communicate properly and do all this properly. Like you took your own health into your hands. I mean, you can go ahead and rely on doctors, or you always have the option to make that decision on yourself and have that focus intent of healing. So it's I really like this technology and what it does.
Yeah, and that's kind of what it's doing in general, like that. Like if you have that picture of your cells before Healy and your cells after Healy, that's kind of the full story of it all, right?
Yeah.
Where we're working at our full potential.
It's okay.
We're waking up.
It's okay for me to show that picture real quick, isn't it? I mean, I don't see why not, right?
Yeah, it's just a general sense. It's just a general sense, a general illustration.
This is just for those of you who know what Healy does to the red blood cells and stuff. Look at this. So how the cells are stacked up on this. My friend, he's a doctor. He actually took this picture, I believe, of his mom and his mom. He's a doctor, and this is before and after using Healy for 24 hours. An hour later. So a lot of inflammation, and this just to me is a no-brainer, because you think everyone has basically their cells don't look like this at all, as the after picture is.
Yeah, and you know what, that's just so perfect that you did that at this exact moment, because I just peeked at the last FAQ question here, and it was inquiring to that some of these experiences and videos people are seeing show such a great change in one application or one session. Can that really happen? It's kind of the question here. It's kind of fun. Can results really be that quick? Well, it can. As soon as it's working, it's affecting instantaneously. It's affecting us. We're getting positive benefit instantaneously. So yeah, absolutely can. Does it mean everyone's going to notice it? No. Does it mean that you might need to, continue to do this for some time, quite some time? absolutely. When it's taking us years and years for the body to get into a position of compromise, we've got to allow time for the body to repair and regenerate.
Yeah.
Most every protocol says you need to give 3 or 4 months. So
Yeah, I just had a thought it'd be really cool to see Healy do a study of a lot of people, where it shows the before and after pictures, because that's a powerful study right there. So,
yeah,
so
we know what it does. We know what it does, like instantaneously, so very, very exciting. The one thing I want to mention with that is, shifts and changes can happen in an instant. We're working, with quantum, technology. So you want to track this stuff. So you want to have your baseline when you start using Healy. You want to track what's happening. You're not going to remember. So write it down, make a little video, take before and after pictures, track your progress. You're going to see so many things change, and you're going to miss being able to celebrate all those little changes along the way if you don't measure it and you don't track it.
well,
And that's a little sad, because there's so many great benefits happening on all levels.
yeah, and I think also just our ways of thinking, the epiphanies that we have using these frequencies. Also, I think it seems like people are just kind of waking up and using this technology. I don't know, kind of opens the mind up a little bit, I think.
It
For
does. It
self-development
does.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. And I know that we're really, really blessed to have this right now, and to have this accessible to so many people. This is just never remotely been accessible, this technology. There have been, technologies for pain or this or that, but not to this degree that we have. We really can make an impact and really, really do a lot to shift the consciousness of the planet right now, which is very exciting.
Huge. I want to make sure we answer all the questions that people had for us regarding the technologies. What's our next one? Let's kind of rock through.
They're bunched up. We've gone through them, and we're
Wow.
half hour's gone like that.
Yeah, there we go. So
Yeah.
I'm not sure if anyone has any questions for Toni. She has been a phenomenal team leader to work with. West Coast, here we are in Seattle. She's right below us in the Los Angeles area, and the team's in LA and abroad are really growing. So appreciate everything that you do, Toni, to help out the team. It's been an awesome experience working with you. So thank you.
You're welcome.
And so does anyone have any questions for Toni at all?
Type in the chat. Ryan, you can.
Let's see, did we cover all these? There's
a percentage number. Let me grab a percentage number question here before we roll it out, because that's another really common one. How about that?
Okay, which
good percentage question. So in the resonance, yeah, when you do an analysis in the resonance, you always look at which program came up at the top. That is the one with the highest percentage, is the highest percentage of need you have. Just, in priority, in ascending order. What's at the top is the highest priority, and it works down. So that's an easy way to look at that. Generally, the things that are above 30, are warranting more attention. Above 60, 70, 80, certainly. And when you run the resonance, when you're doing analysis on the resonance, you can do a vibration of the top 5 right there on the spot, or you can go back to your Healy and run the one that came up as the highest priority for you. You choose whichever you prefer to do at that time.
Okay, that's good. We got some connection issues. People are asking about, like, is there a difference between the connecting with the sticky pads or straps or ear connections? Go ahead and touch base on that.
Yeah, so I believe that we're all here on this particular webinar from the US, and the US doesn't allow the ear clips, so you will instead put the electropads right behind the ear, and it's going to stimulate from that same area. So yeah, that's just as simple as that. The wrist reps, obviously are giving your entire being more of a correction there,
Yeah.
more of a balancing. The
What?
electropads, you can use them anywhere you choose. If you're familiar with the Chinese meridian system, a lot of people like to place them according to the specific meridians as well.
Okay, and let's see here, Tony. You can take those wrist straps too. I do this once a week because I like to run it through my legs. So I actually wrap them around my ankles and run up through that. I'd recommend that for everyone just to do. That's important to take care of our legs and stuff like that too. So
Yeah,
that's good.
yeah.
But as far as like as much, they're not putting out more conductivity or anything like this, whether you're using the the wrist pads, straps, or the ear clips or anything like this. So
And
yeah,
let me go back to the thing that I repeat over and over again. It's focused intent too. So every single session you're doing, have that focused intent. What is the outcome that you want to have, and focus on that too. Just
Bernice,
watch how this stuff starts changing. Your whole life's going to start changing once you
sure.
start using Healy and you start having focused intent and you start working with it more. Just watch what happens.
Yeah, that makes for a good life right there.
Yeah.
Paul's asking, we receive the quantum messages when we're running the gold program, so there is no quantum stuff taking place, only with the resonance, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see here.
No, wait a minute. Ryan, say that again. Maybe I
Yeah,
misunderstood.
I'll
Can you
ask,
please repeat that?
do we receive the quantum messages when we're running the gold programs?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. So I think I understand what the question is. So every single program that grouping of frequencies that you choose in the Healy, you are going to have and be able to access this information field analysis. And the information field, you might have also heard it called the quantum field, the morphogenic field, all those things. It's the same thing. So all of the Healy programs, except for the couple pain ones I mentioned, they are giving you a real-time analysis of what's needed and then delivering it to you and changing it up every 10 seconds. So all of the gold programs obviously have that too. Every 10 seconds, you're getting exactly what you need, pulled from hundreds and hundreds and hundreds.
So I actually thought otherwise. I thought what it was using is almost kind of like a sonar where it's pulsing the frequency into you, and then it's determining what frequency to use next. And I don't necessarily think that that's on a quantum level. Are you sure about what you just said?
Yeah, when it may not, okay. So when when you turn the Healy on and it's doing its analysis, which it does in the beginning of the session there, it's reading what you need from that level, from the information field, encompassing all of that, and determining from that whole program set. And then it's delivering it to you every 10 seconds. You're getting the frequency needed, and it's continuing to give you that feedback, because you'll notice that some frequencies during the cycle keep coming back, but the percentage of need is changing along the way. So yeah, so you are getting that real-time analysis and that real-time feedback in all of those programs, the gold cycle included. The gold cycle, those programs are the most robust. They have hundreds and hundreds of different frequencies to pull from when you choose one of those
You
sets.
sound convincing to me, so I'll go ahead and roll with that answer until I hear otherwise. Let's see what else we also have here. Let me see. Bernice has a few questions. We'll try to rock through these right
Hey,
away.
Brian, we were going to cap it at 9:30. Are you just going to edit part of the video off?
Bernice has a few questions. I'll go ahead and just copy and send these over to you. And then the watch, where do we find the manual of what programs in the watch bundle mean? I would say that's probably in the back office under PDFs, correct? Yes?
My tools downloads.
Okay, yeah.
And filter for English. Filter for English.
Definitely there.
Go under my tools, go under the downloads, and then do a filter for English language.
Then Jennifer Green, resonance to help create structured water. How do you feel about structured water and that kind of things?
I'm a huge fan. That's a longer conversation for sure. Structured water is incredibly important for so many reasons. It's more hydrating, and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
I think we're
crystals,
gonna, yeah.
my water and everything. So it's, yeah, what's the right path in that? So that's another day too.
I
Everyone,
know. We could go on with any of these things. We could have just gone on. We're trying to hit,
we're trying to keep these calls focused
overview.
with intention. So
Hey, Ryan.
yes,
Focused
Bernice.
intent. And then we should turn the recording off.
1 second. I'm going to go ahead and just end this call right here, guys. Then we'll answer any questions you have. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. And Toni, thank you for taking the time to answer these questions today. Appreciate you all and wish you a blessed day.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you.